Welcome back, everyone, to the Elets Digital Pharma Summit. We will now proceed with an industry presentation by Mr. Ravi Sundararajan, Chief Operating Officer Gupshup, on transforming patient engagement in healthcare with conversational messaging. As the Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Ravi Sundararajan heads product operations, sales, marketing, business development, and support for Gupshup's enterprise messaging business that has grown to become the leading cloud messaging platform under his leadership. He has over 27 years of general management experience leading product development, product management, sales, marketing, business development, and services, serving millions of users. His previous roles include general manager at VP at HP and McKinsey. He has been awarded US patents for innovative cloud data management inventions and has an MS in electrical engineering and an MBA from Harvard University. Can we have the presentation, please?
I'm Ravi Sundararajan, CEO of Gupshup. We are really excited to be part of the Elets Digital Pharma Summit. Gupshup is a leading cloud messaging company, and we focus on creating conversational messaging journeys for our key customers in various sectors. And healthcare is a very important sector. We have some of the leading pharmaceuticals and hospitals using us to create conversational engagement with their patients and improve the patient engagement. So today, what we'll do is we'll be covering some of our learnings from working with some of the leading pharmaceuticals and hospitals and talk about some of the solutions that we offer to this industry. So patient engagement has actually become really important in the context of some of the things that happened in the last year and a half. They were the three main things have been, mass smartphone adoption in India, especially with Reliance Jio making the data rates really cheap. There've been a lot of digital innovations, and you can see that from the number of unicorns, digital unicorns that have been created in India. And obviously, there's the pandemic that happened that kind of changed where people had to work remotely, be cared for remotely, and being monitored remotely. So a lot of other things changed with the pandemic, and the adoption of various digital channels and engagement channels kind of accelerated several years because of these things. So as you can see, consumers have been adopting various digital technologies to manage healthcare-related activities over several years. But in the last 2 years, 2020, when kind of the pandemic started in the first quarter of 2020, through now, which is towards the end of 2021, last 2 years, there's been a significant jump in remote patient monitoring to track symptoms. It jumped 3 times between 2020 to 2021. Also, chatbots and voice-enabled technologies, which are not being used much in 2018, kind of became prominent. And digital therapeutics, which kind of went from 3 to 10%, there's a tripling, right? So there's some of these things about virtual consultation, which actually went from 5x, 3x in remote patient monitoring, and 3x in digital therapeutics, or kind of show some of these things that they've accelerated the online healthcare trend. However, what's happening now is the healthcare experience is still broken. Some hospitals have their apps, even some pharmaceuticals have their apps. Some of the patients are not tech savvy. These apps are difficult to navigate. And what actually the healthcare providers want to do is they want to do kind of a mass personalization. Everybody wants personal experiences. That's why when you go visit a doctor, or even when you go order your pharmaceutical, it's a very personalized experience. So they want this personalized experience. So the issue that the healthcare providers have is, how do we create a mass personalization experience where people feel that they have that they are getting one-on-one, and they're also going where the patients are, patients and some of the buyers are, which is the lack of omni-channel presence. So in order to do that, they're all moving towards messaging apps. So messaging apps are very popular, right? In India, you see that WhatsApp, about 300 million people use of the 900 million people who have, and especially if you take the smartphone population, about half of the people who have data connectivity are using WhatsApp. And today, WhatsApp has become synonymous with the internet in India. Even when somebody in a tier 2 or a tier 3 city buys a phone, The only app that they have based on the memory or whatever phone configuration they have is WhatsApp. So similarly, there are various other apps that people are using too, but a lot of these apps have become, very critical in times of COVID. A lot of the governments and even the government of India created a chatbot to understand COVID-19, what about the issues, seeking care, and also isolating themselves, but being in touch with the rest of what's happening, right? We had a Telegram bot that did the COVID vaccine. There've been a lot of national digital health initiatives and missions based on certain messaging apps. So apps have become front and center of the way people interact with the businesses and healthcare providers and pharmaceuticals, right? So, and when you have an app, what do you do with an app? You converse, right? It's just very informal. You want to talk, you chat. So conversations have also become a better way of understanding what patients' needs and engaging them. And so the messaging apps are an easy to access digital medium where actually you can engage the customers better. So what Gupshup does is we have a single API. We'll go over some of the case studies. PharmEasy has been using us for several years. There are a few other providers. They kind of use our single API to integrate with their system, their digital system, which has their data, their patient records, or whatever stuff that they have in the database or middleware. So through an API, they can use the single API that we have and reach any app. They don't have to keep integrating with different apps. They just integrate with our API once, and they can reach 30 of the most popular messaging channels. And we send billions of messages to various consumers and patients and healthcare buyers all over the country. And we do 6 billion a month. So far, we sent about 300 billion. There are over 39,600 businesses that are using us. And so the platform is being used by small and large businesses. And we have a lot of different kind of industries using us, including healthcare. And we also enable in messaging within the app itself, we can enable payments. We enable multiple channels where you can set preferences that these type of messages go on WhatsApp, these type of messages go on SMS. So if some of them are using Telegram or Instagram or Facebook Messenger or Twitter, and in other countries, people use WeChat, Line, and Viber. So give people the option where you can just click and say, hey, these type of messages or these people who are opted in for these type of messages, you're going where the consumers are. So that's what we enable people to do. And we do it very simply. It's a cloud platform, cloud messaging platform, and we are part of the cloud messaging platform as a service. And so conversational messaging is some of our the key value propositions that we provide. And as you hear in India, there are a lot of the SaaS companies that are going public and becoming unicorns. We are one of them that did that too. And we are seeing a lot of engagement and traction with the various enterprises. So the reason being that if you're on a messaging app and you're going where the users are, the conversations become much more accessible, they're much more convenient. There, you are going to where the users are willing to engage with you, like the healthcare providers. So, and the patients are on their favorite messaging apps and multilingual, right? In India, there's only the tier 1, tier 2 cities. There are about 150 to 200 million people in tier 1 and tier 2 cities that are using some of the popular apps in English. But what do you do when you go to tier 2 and tier 3 cities? There are about close to 1 billion people on mobile phones in India. And so you need to reach the other 2/3 that are in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. For them, apps become very convenient because even if they don't know the language, you have visuals, you have buttons, you have dynamic buttons, you have list messages where you click on based on the graphic what option do you want to pick, and schedule appointments. Also do your patient care. All this becomes very easy. And so here you can engage healthcare providers and professionals and pharmaceuticals can engage with thousands of patients and attend them in a personalized way. This is where one-on-one en masse, right? Everybody, you're reaching a lot of people one-on-one, and you can, so that way people also preventive healthcare, we can nudge them with videos and other stuff and stay connected to them 24/7. So this kind of is becoming very popular with various providers. So what this does is you, with conversational healthcare or using conversational messaging to engage them in all aspects, right? Initial, when people are coming in, to create awareness about your value proposition that you have to the consumers. If you're a pharmaceutical and you specialize in certain things, or you have some online capabilities to deliver the drugs that they want wherever they want to, or being able to consult with them to understand what is the needs, or if patients want to kind of not only order the medicine but also want to discover doctors, get some appointments, understand what their situation is, and then eventually also do payments and process the insurance with one-click bill pay that we provide, or have a engagement with their doctors or their pharmacist to understand what to order, and have a lot of follow-ups and reporting and see how they're doing, right? And after we do all this, there's also a support area, right? One is awareness, second is engagement. You have to engage them operationally, and then support services, right? How do I make sure that they answer when they have any questions, post care, and also when you order, your order has come, not come, you want to figure out the right order, recommend certain diets and nutritions. So the entire treatment life cycle can be made more engaging with conversational messaging and be more personalized, right? So here what you see is that people, especially with the pandemic and being able to do this remotely, a lot of people actually, given the situation, they don't want to even go into the pharmacy or the hospital because they think they may get infected doing it on the way. They want to do it remote. Now it's becoming very easy for people to do all this remote care. Before, they didn't even think about it. Now that's a preferred option, where they're saying, first, I'd like to do this remotely and get some help online, do a video chat, and also if they can do that on WhatsApp or Telegram or wherever the users are, or SMS or Android iMessage, Android messaging, if they're using Android phones for the Android inbox. So any of the other stuff that they want to do in any popular channel becomes much more easier, accessible, and it also enables these providers. Before, they would, if you're just physically located as a pharmacy in one location or few locations, now you can consolidate your operations and reach out to everybody en masse, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, engage them in a much more thoughtful and engaging way, and also provide the necessary assistance and augment that with some of these physical services. So that's why this is becoming really important, where you're enabling a personal assistant or a personalized experience for every patient who knows the patient well, and knows, because of all these digital records and the conversations you've been having, the past health issues, what are their current issues, get some vitals done, even before they come in. And, this makes it a very kind of a seamless healing journey, improves your customer satisfaction, keeps them more happy, and reduces the costs of serving so many customers in this age where people are kind of everything, a lot of things are being digitized. And also, if they're kind of more about the patients through these conversations, the targeted care and the medicines are also much more targeted. And you can also have much more intelligent conversations using chatbots that use AI and are automated to understand patient queries, most common queries. And then you can go from a automated chatbot to actually a personalized agent, a call center agent, where they can handle more complex queries. So all this becomes possible when you use a kind of a conversational messaging solution that we do. So what this is creating is, when people, especially, there are new types of businesses that are being created. No more you have physical pharmacy chains or physical hospital chains, but new businesses are being created where this is just we getting started, right? If you compare ourselves to China, where we are at 5%, whereas China is at 75%. When you look at a lot of the things that happen online through apps, they have WeChat, everything happens to WeChat, right? So here we're trying to create those experiences. In fact, it's much more longer term, because you're creating where in few popular messaging apps where the consumers are, and they don't have to keep downloading apps. They just have few apps, 2 or 3 apps, and you don't have to have one app for every pharmaceutical company they deal with or every hospital they deal with. They can work with a common messaging app, and you can reach them in these apps where they're more than a third or a half of them, half of the servable market is on these apps. It becomes much more easier. So before, if you think about it, like 2-3 years ago, the interactions were very brand specific, and there was no personalization, no way to engage customers, right? And today, post-pandemic, post the digitization phase in India, post where data rates are so cheap, all that, what you see is from one to many, you have actually back to one-on-one, where you have a lot of intelligence and AI solving human problems, and you are able to understand where the patients are, go through the whole life cycle, from creating awareness to engaging them, serving them, solving their issues, operationally becoming more efficient, and then even after post-engaging, post-treatment support services, where you can be, enabled to, serve them at every touch point of their customer journey with a healthcare provider, be it a pharmaceutical company or a hospital or any of the other healthcare providers. So here, what happens is, if you can think about it, what will happen in the future, where everything is targeted, tailored at every step, right, of their journey. And because of this personalized conversational experience, you are able to create a lot of insights and lead automated conversations, and have the convenience, giving them and for them also, they're very happy because they have the convenience and accessibility 24/7 whenever they want. And even if they want to chat with a non-human agent or a chatbot, it's there. The basic queries get answered and then followed up by a human agent. So it kind of completely changes, and your healthcare brand can act as a counselor or a doctor or a consultant to their patient at every stage, just not when the doctor-patient interaction happens, or when just you go to a pharmacist and order a drug. It's to the entire journey, and that kind of opens up a lot of other possibility to kind of engage and touch them and make things and understand their needs to the entire life cycle of the customer journey. So what I'd like to do is, take a couple of minutes to talk about a few case studies that we have done, and show that what is it that some of these businesses have seen by using the platform that we provide. So here, what happens is, what happened was Pharmacy was using a lot of us for SMS, missed calls, voice technologies, and a lot of the other stuff to reach their customers. But then what they said is, we want to go where the consumers are. So can we do stuff on WhatsApp? Can we do stuff on a few other channels? And so we said, hey, we are an omni-channel platform. You already integrated with us. You don't have to do anything. Within a week, we can get you on WhatsApp and enable one-way and two-way communication, where you can just, by using an opt-in, you can tell your consumers, hey, these are options there. Even on WhatsApp, you can tell them and say, you want to have a service where with your popular messaging channel, just opt into the channel. And so what happens is, here, they had a lot of product queries about the products they offer, sales assistance, all that got streamlined. Then even their purchase and engagement got more streamlined, where they told that, hey, you have successfully placed this order, this is where it is, please track it, right? And you can also talk about transactional alerts, order updates, all that is in one place. So what they did is, they, compared to other messaging channels, the user engagement went up close to 2x, 1.8x, and obviously the read rates and all of stuff improved. The overall efficacy of their engagement process improved a lot, and they were able to reduce their support cost, increase their engagement, and also have much more engagement here. The other thing is kind of, we talk as of Apollo Hospital, right? Here we created a two-way patient conversations over WhatsApp, where they were able to come, and patients, even when they're looking at appointment booking or even understanding, they would kind of start and start the journey there. After the appointment is booked, even post-purchase, some of the language-specific issues went away, where you can show rich media, images, videos, location cards, and documents. So you can share better information about their situation. And so their customer satisfaction and their user engagement went up a lot, right? So this is, in addition to that, after their care, the billing updates and reports, all of them was available visually in rich media. They could look at it, they could understand it, and it could be customized. So that's, and then the other thing is also, like, even if they want to go do not only appointments, they want to make book lab tests, right? Then you can put graphics and say, hey, you want to do this test, they would click on that. Then even after the lab test, we could kind of, after the appointments of the lab test, even post follow-up, all of that was done. And this kind of completely improved their patient engagement. So in a nutshell, what we are saying here is that if they're obviously in this conference is a leading conference for various pharmaceutical companies and hospitals and various other healthcare providers, and what we would like to leave you with is that if you are experts in this type of service that you provide, there are a lot of other people who are providing, and that's why you have so many other digital companies getting a lot of traction in India, where you want to work with people who kind of help you reduce your costs and focus on your core area that you do, be it ensuring that they get the best targeted care, be in terms of pharmaceutical care and the medicines that they need, or the patient care, or the right doctor care. This session helped the various healthcare providers, be it a pharmaceutical company or a hospital who's attending this conference, understand some of these solutions that we offer. The goal is that we are hoping that you guys focus on the things that you are that's core to your business, so that you can engage your patients or the people who purchase some of the medicines that you offer in a more meaningful and thoughtful way across the entire customer journey, be it pre-purchase, purchase, and engagement and care, and post-purchase and support. So hopefully the session helped, and thanks a lot, and have a great conference. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Sundararajan, for this insightful presentation on effective patient communication. And please accept a small token from us for sharing your invaluable thoughts. So we have a small certificate for you for your participation and at the Elets Digital Pharma Summit 2021. Thank you so much. We will now head into a short break and regroup at 11:45 a.m. to begin with our panel discussions. Looking forward to have you here again. Thank you.